All right. So let's get into this right quick. I'm just going to do a brief outline of what I think Americanism is. I know that there's probably a specific definition and specific ideas, but I think it's important I'm going to give my take on it. And y'all can agree to disagree. Americanism and consumerism go hand in hand. And these are dangerous, toxic ideologies. I think that Americanism, to me, is combined with if you'll just give me just a moment, sorry. Americanism is basically consumerism combined with individualism, combined with theory. Not theory, with a kind of imagined past, an imagined idea of things. It's LARP, I guess, or a fantasy, I guess. To me, consumerism is that, the United States now is a service economy. We rely on services. We rely on people to serve us, and say, hey, how's it going? And make it more personalized, all this sort of stuff. We rely on, the third world to bring stuff to us. So, when we rely on all these sorts of materials and we use, all sorts of subterfuge to get what we want. The individualism is that there's this idea, it's like, you can do whatever you want. You should be able to, if you're a sex worker, you should be able to do it and be proud, OnlyFans and all this. But beyond that, beyond that more trad sort of hatred, it's this idea that it's every man and woman for themselves. And while there are good people, and while there at least is lip service to the idea of helping people, it's more about ingratiating yourself. Look how much money I gave to, this charity, or, I gave this much, so I don't have to pay that money in taxes. Oh my gosh, look at Andrew Carnegie, who made all those schools. It's not that he was in competition with, Ford or any of these other magnates about who was going to build the most schools, who are going to have the most schools with their names on them. And so, I was going to say individualism, but I think more importantly, I think it's self-ingratiating. And it's let's make everything universal idea. Basically, it's like, you could get a Coca-Cola just about anywhere. You don't have to search for it. You could be in, a pharmacy, of course, and you got ice cream all the way down the way, or you got, your frozen pizza and all that sort of thing. Americanism is a danger. And it's something that Americans just grew to accept. That's part of the reason why we're in the situation we are in. We think that, it's like, we got to have these businesses open. We got to do all this. We can't shut down. While you have other people who will say, put on your mask. And, it's a pitiful dichotomy. And all we can do as Americans is stuff our faces with burgers and fries, with our craisins. I'm looking at a big thing that my dad got me. And to watch our, funny videos or make funny videos and do that and get fatter and huff and puff while we're walking down the road. It's like, and you try to tell people, no, I don't want any more. No, thank you. No more fries, no more this and that. But no, they're like, oh, please, while you gain another 10 pounds. I say this knowing that this, and like I said, there's much more to it than that. It's like, it's the same thing with, Marvel movies and how we're going to promote them to China so that we can get more money. Or we're going to, everybody's going to have an American car, at least a car brand or something like that. And, unfortunately, the world is America brained. And you get this extreme sort of, self-satisfaction. And I'm sure that, there are people who have written books about this. They have created whole careers out of it. And you could spend, quite a bit of time talking about it. But we allowed, is it Americans or United States citizens allowed for this to happen? And we're just so stupefied at this point that we don't know what to do. That's the truth. We are so stupefied that we don't know what to do. It's easy to get caught up in the whole left-wing versus right-wing dichotomy, which means nothing. And I've talked about that before. But for lack of a better way to describe things, that's the dichotomy that we have set ourselves at. And so that's how discourse happens. But it is. I've said it before. And even though I make funny videos about the riots and all that business of what happened in 2020, it's just a bread and circus. When we see these riots go on, when we see these folks marching and fighting and people getting beat up by cops, very few people are moved by it because we're desensitized to it. We've seen it so much. It's the same type of thing, unfortunately, with shootings, this and that. I mean, you could say that that also goes into movies as well. You see all these people get shot up in a film, and like I say, it's different nowadays, slightly. Depends on which movies you see, this and that. But back in the 80s and 90s, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of, plenty of squibs going off on somebody, when they're making a movie to show the blood and everything else like that. I mean, look, Hong Kong did the same thing, but I'm just saying is that I do understand when some lefties do try to make that point. And there just has to be some huge seismic shifts that are going to have to occur. And it's not going to be pretty. That's all I can tell you. It's not going to be pretty for the United States to get on some sort of better footing. It's not going to be pretty. That's all I can say. We see that this country is broken apart. And we see that China is doing better. I don't even say that as, oh, I just love everything about China. No. But it's their country. It's their people. And ultimately, it's none of my business to get involved with it. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just one of those situations where it's like, you can try to be part of the solution as much as you can, but I think that the sands of time are shifting. And we can all make our assumptions, but we have no idea what's going to happen. I have no idea. At the end of the day, we're all going to lose in some way. And I know that's a black pill point, but I think that for those of us in the United States, everybody is going to lose to some point. If you own a small business, you're not going to get any help from the government. As this COVID-19 pandemic continues. If you're a left-wing sort of person, you're going to be surrounded by people who are just like, well, we need to wait on Medicare for all. We need to, wait on those things. These are the same people who say, we only have 10 years left to do anything about climate change. But I'm going to continue on. I'm just going to continue to shitpost on Twitter and dab on Ben Shapiro. Or I'm going to go out to this march and make, all this trash or something like that. And it's just... that's where we're at. You know what? I might as well do this. I'm going to make this longer, but you'll get this schizophrenic idea of the left. And I'll put it this way, is that, you'll have these folks who will talk about, desertification, the topsoil going away and everything else, and that basically most land will be unarable within 10 years. And, I'm not going to sit here and fight about it. What I will say, though, is the schizo idea is also is that there are those lefties who are like, actually, space exploration is based because science. And it kind of fits their narrative, where it's just like the right is seen as so anti-science. And that you so much don't want to be associated with them, that you go down the path of just, yeah, science is great. Everything they do is great and awesome, except for, but I hope that they have some scruples, this and that, so that they don't, test on animals and stuff. But, science is good, basically. It's just like, if we go into space and we colonize other planets, it's perfectly okay because more reasons, as long as it isn't Elon Musk, though. We hate that fascist Nazi. It's just, it's all so tiring. It really is. I'm going to try to spend a little bit of time offline, I think. I'm not even going to watch any YouTube videos. I'm just going to try to do some quiet time. Oh, this is a private matter. My cat is upset, unfortunately, because she was a cat around the neighborhood. She was just a little kitten, and we brought her in. And apparently, I guess the mom had another litter, and one of her brothers or sisters or something like, came to the door and, was meowing and opened the door, and she was mad as hell. Jealousy, as my dad said. So it's just, it's a good thing I didn't touch that kitten, because obviously, that's with cats. But, it's just one of those things where it's like, I wish I was a monk. I do. It's like, I'm talking about my own schizophrenia now, where it's like, there was a time, and the long-time subscribers have heard me. It's like, I would be a gun runner if things were really bad. But I know that's not going to happen. It's a fantasy that I live in. At this point, though, I would rather become a monk. And it seems more and more tempting. Like, I would rather, it doesn't even matter what faith. A Buddhist monk, whether it's a friar, for the Catholics, or I would rather be a monk at this point. I would rather do that. It's just, it's all so tiring. I'm not even on this extreme point. Same thing with women as well. I just don't care. I'm sure there are nice enough ladies out there, to have a relationship. I don't even care, though. I don't live in the dichotomy of they need to sleep with me. No. I know I'd be a bad lay. Oh, man. Why am I saying that? You know what? This is therapy. But I'm not even going to talk too heavily about that. I'm sorry for the cringe. I'm sorry. But honestly, I'm just at the point where it's just like, I don't want to get involved with it. It's the same thing even with Christmas, where my mom got upset because she was like, oh, what else do you want for Christmas? I'm like, I don't care. Get what you want. I don't care. You don't even have to get me anything. I'm not even trying to be a smartass about it, trying to be, trying to be, passive aggressive. It's like, no, I genuinely don't care. I've got all these books. I'm looking at my bookshelf that I haven't even read one page of. I pretty much can watch whatever kung fu movie I want to watch. So it's like, I don't care, you know? And that's kind of the ultimate, that's the ultimate America pill. Dare I say it that way? But yeah, that's the ultimate America pill where you're just like, it's numbness. And it's like you've reached that point, you reach that zenith where, you know, and by the way, I'm not some rich kid, this and that, but it's like I've pretty much had my needs met most of my life. And it's just like when you reach that point, you're just like, okay, well, I'm good. But society kind of demands like, well, we have to be happy with this and that. And that kind of goes into that Christmas depression, that holiday depression. And kind of feeds into the idea it's like, you have to be happy about things. You have to be this way about it. Like I say, it's not a pretty thing, I just say this in all honesty, I think that's all I have. I figure at this point, I could tell an ordinary person this or talk to my parents, but they've heard a lot of this, so it's like, I might as well just tell y'all and get it out there and, and try to hide my commentary, hide my mental illness behind my commentary about America, basically, That's the secret, isn't it? That's the secret, is trying to hide your mental issues behind memes and everything. That's really the the whole crux of this thing, isn't it? Is that you hide your mental illness in politics. Some people hide their mental illness behind sports, or they hide it behind whichever, Oh my goodness. Okay. I hope my cat doesn't. Hopefully, these two cats that we have are not going to start fighting, because it's not going to be pretty. Oh, Lord have mercy. Hold on. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and end it here. But I hope my words speak to somebody and to say, hey, it's, Rome wasn't built in a day, and it took a while before the Roman Empire finally split and then, turned into other things. And it's going to be a while before the United States turns into something else. I guess maybe that's the whole idea, is that as long as you teach the next one to continue on the struggle, then that's all that matters, I guess. I don't know. But hopefully I wasn't too black pill, but yeah. Anyway, I'll keep it there. I hope y'all have a good one. Goodbye.